Now, today we have some Great Vault opening with some delay, because usually I open the Great Vault after we are done raiding or right before we are done raiding, not just on the very first time I log in after the reset. I'm going to spare you the embarrassment of going through my two scuffed geared characters, the Shaman and the Druid, because those two at 420 something item level, I just grab whatever's available. But on a Paladin and on an Evoker, being the item level much higher and having much fewer options, like for example maybe the Mythic Rashok Trinket, or maybe even a high crit necklace or a high crit ring, so that the chances of possible upgrades are much fewer for a character like this Paladin. We have done, I think, 2 raid bosses, 2 options for the raid, and 2 for Mythic, 3 for Mythic Plus. I don't even remember how many Mythic Plus keys I did. Ominous, it's a no-go because I have it. This is good because of the high crit. That's a possible upgrade, or it should be an upgrade. Then we have 2 pairs of pans. Hopefully at least one of them is gonna have some crit. This one has crit, which is good. This one doesn't have crit, which is not good. And this one also doesn't have crit, which is not good. So out of these, the only possible upgrades are gonna be the pants or the necklace. So for this, we are going to pull out our friend, questionably epic, live, which is our raid boss equivalent for healers. We're gonna take our profile using the SimC add-on to copy everything we have right now, including the options from the Great Vault, and then paste it inside questionably epic to see the options. So we have to compare the necklaces between each other, and then as well the pants between each other, to see how much of a gain we are getting. So between the 2 necklaces, it should be a small gain for the Cagni's Scorching Talisman. The gain is a grand total of 57 HPS. So we are talking about a small amount, which will grow once we do another check. But for now, let's compare as well the pants. Now I think the pants should be slightly better than this. Maybe like 100 or something, not that much more, honestly. I guess we can also include the other scuffed pair of pants, just in case. Yeah, just in case they actually turn out to be better as a surprise. I don't think so, because they lack the crit, but still. So the comparison here between the ones with crit, the pants with crit, and the ones without is 87, so not even 100, actually, even less than that. 87 HPS gain. Now, I said the necklace was going to grow a bit because the necklace we have from the Great Vault is at 441 item level. What if we actually upgrade it already in questionably epic to show the version at 447 item level? Now the growth should be at least somewhat higher, rather than just 57 or whatever. I messed up. That's the ominous trinket from the Great Vault. Without it, it's a 210 HPS upgrade. So not just like 57 like before, but it's better. It's better compared, at the very least, to the pants. So out of the possible options, I guess we are left with just, you know, the pants, the crit pants with the 87 whatever, and then the necklace. The necklace is winning across the 2, so it's the winner. I guess the only other option could be the socket, right? You always have the extra socket option, but I'm pretty sure I am done with socket options, because I have socket on every piece of gear, right? This the 2 rings, of course, and then I also have the backup damage embellishment belt, and also if I have to craft a new ring, I would have the guaranteed socket from the ring craft, so that's also not a need. So I guess what's left is just this necklace. We have to buy the 2 settings for the extra sockets. The only thing I'm sad about is the hassle of having to go and craft a primary stat gem, which very wisely I decided to put on my necklace, because I was like, yeah, it's the one least likely to replace. But no, I guess I was wrong. Now, what we have left is moving over to the Evoker, which perhaps has even fewer chances of finding some upgrades. So as I go and upgrade my necklace to 447 item level, let's move over to the Evoker Great Vault. Now, as for the Evoker Great Vault, as I said, perhaps even fewer chances of finding an upgrade. 447 item level, basically 447 everywhere except for one 450 item. We have, thankfully, after Raid Night, a mythic Rashok trinket, so that's nice. We don't even have to hope for a Rashok trinket from the vault anymore. And good news, I am about to have an Evoker legendary. Also better news, I thought ahead of time and got myself a 450 offhand, just to be ready for whenever I get my Evoker legendary. So not even a weapon upgrade is in the works in here as a doable one. I need no other trinkets. I even have the beacon for some reason saved on this Evoker. I don't need rings as I have already a couple of crafted rings, so possible upgrades are very few. Some of the very few 450 plus items that can drop from the last few bosses in the raid, basically. Maybe even the Sarkaret cloak, yeah, you know, something like that as a possible option. I only have 3 mythic raid boss options because I don't even bother with doing mythic plus anymore since the item level would be too low. Here we have copies and useless things, but I see 450 item level on these boots. Even better, they have mastery. As a preservation evoker, you want to stack mastery, so it's good. It's a good option, a possible upgrade, which is already very good given that I have a pretty low chance of finding an upgrade when my average item level is 447. So we, I guess, have to go through the same process of the Paladin, which is whipping out questionably epic and sim these boots. Now bringing in questionably epic and testing out the items. That's basically the only thing I can check between these two boots. However, there's a thing. The boots have an embellishment. That's it. So that would also mean having to change my embellishment. Now, luckily, the boots are the weakest of the embellishment compared to my bracers, which are by far the strongest. The boots might be replaced by either the Spore Cloak, which is very close, but also the Spore Cloak has the benefit of giving you an actual, basically, defensive every 2 minutes. It's very good for survival, very, very good. So even if it were to lose a bit in HPS, it would still be very valuable. The bracers, of course, are staying as an embellishment. What could also be a replacement, though, is the Lariat. Something we forgot for about 4 months because the Lariat scales in power with the number of sockets or socketed gems you have. So as you replace all your gear at the start of the season, it's quite weak. But as you go through the season and get more and more gems, now I have the items to craft. I have 2 of them, so I can craft actually both of the Lariat and the Spore Cloak. If you go deeper into the season and you start getting more and more gems, you can start seeing a Lariat more empowered. Right now, for example, if I put in the Lariat at 447, I can add the option and my stats, mastery and crit. Wait, no, mastery and verse, not crit. This is not season 1 anymore. You have the option to add more gems on your Lariat, and the max gems is 8. Right now I have 7 because I don't have a gem. I just forgot basically to keep a gem for my bracers, but let's assume I have 8 gems on my gear, which I can get by the next reset. With 8 gems, the Lariat should become significantly stronger because of the effect of the Lariat becoming stronger with the more gems you have. Now here, unfortunately 1 week I messed up, only getting 2 options, so only getting 4 of the currency for the gem instead of 6, so that's my fault. But with 8 gems, using the Lariat as a comparison, so we can compare the Lariat embellishment with the 450 normal boots, and then the 447 embellished boots and the normal 447 necklace to see who which is the better combination between the two? Well, it's a clear win with 254 HPS for the Lariat and the 450 boots. So that's a thing. The Lariat is winning between those two. Now, the other possible question, of course, is what about the Spore Clock? So, sure, the Lariat might have more power raw, but what if we add a Spore Clock and instead compare the power of the Spore Clock, which should be lower still than a Lariat, but I just want to see by how much lower. So let's assume we are keeping a Lariat here away and instead using the Spore Clock, and the gain is lower. It is basically half as good as the Lariat. It's half as good, but it has the effect. It has the Spore Clock effect, which is quite a good one. So I guess at the very least, when it comes to the Great Vault, I have the decision, which is the 450 boots. I cannot really complain because the 450 boots were a very small chance of finding an upgrade, so that's good that I was able to get them. Now the question will be what to craft together with these boots. Now those were new actually. Okay, man, this just reminds me how terrible the Evoker sets look like. No matter the difficulty, they are all trash. That's just depressing. But one thing I wanted to check is the catalyst. I want to see which stats I can get if I transform these boots into something else, because these boots do have something I need as my best in-slot stat, which is Mastery, but they have Haste, which is not really a good one. I want to see if I can get some Verse on the boots, maybe even better with Mastery, to see if they get better, even better value than what they already have, rather than this, 200 raised. I would rather not to get. I have a lot of Mastery already, but I would like more, and same goes for Verse. So I want to see what do they turn into. Those are basically the only one at this point I can still change, and we get... Okay, we get what I wanted, which is Verse and keeping the Mastery. I am losing Mastery. I'm losing like 260 Mastery, but I'm gaining 400 Verse, which should actually be an upgrade compared to my current boots. So great boots, 450, yes, and then we compare them. Assume we are running with a Spore Cloak, and now the question is just between those two without the embellished boots, and just keeping the Spore Cloak as a stay. Between these two, the newly changed boots, the great boots, are better actually by quite a bit. Even they're actually as good as the Spore Cloak replacing the old embellished boots. So it's as if I just got a third embellishment just by changing stats on these boots. So I guess now the question is to simply go and craft. I have already two items for crafting, so I can craft one Spore Cloak, and then I can craft one Lariat and just, trash the embellished boots and just use either the Lariat or the Spore Cloak as an alternative. I would say that's good. As I said, I would say given the low chances of an upgrade on this Evoker, this was a good vault with a pretty low chance of finding something good. So I'm pretty happy about the Evoker, and to a degree even good about finding an upgrade on my Paladin. So these were my great vault for my two main characters. I guess at this point what I have left to do is to go and farm some Evoker legendary stuff. So thank you guys, of course, all for watching, and see you guys tomorrow with another kind of video. We are talking about loot tomorrow.